We are live yet again. Right, I figured it out. So apparently the little button that... Let's wait for some people to join in. So we've got one viewer there. Two. 4. Brilliant. So we're getting people come back into the live stream, which is awesome. Okay, so thanks for joining back in, guys. I'm sorry about that. So apparently there's a button that's ticked that said, is this content created for children? Well, that wasn't all frustrating. Yeah, tell me about it, Julian. It's annoying because I normally have all my YouTube settings saved, so when I come out and then come back in again, it's already pre-populated for me. All I have to change is the thumbnail and the title, but for some reason it ticked that my content was for children's, which means comments couldn't be enabled. I didn't know that. So I had to make it so it's not for children, it's for adults. Now you guys can comment, so I can talk to you. Whee! So, yeah, there you go. There you have it. You're all joining back in, which is good news. What's up, Buttercup? Jono says, testing. Hi from Australia. Hello, guys. How you doing? I hope you're all well. What did you guys think of my little Ether Home sales pitch? I hope I got the message across without making it sound too complicated. I think sometimes people ask loads of questions, which I think is the right thing to do. They want to know, where's the smart contract, how it's created, how much to pay for it, how much is the first house you're going to buy. And I'm answering all the questions, but for someone on the outside looking in, they will say, this sounds really complicated. So I tried to make it as clear and easy as possible what it is I'm trying to achieve and how much. So I hope you guys have been getting hold of your home tokens. I bought tokens today. Good man, Julian. I plan to buy some when I get paid in a couple of weeks' time. I've actually got, oddly enough, using money from a house that I'm getting remortgaged currently at the moment. This is something in my personal life. I'm looking to purchase more home tokens myself. So hopefully at that point I'll be one of the largest holders. Let's have a little look at who's buying what and how much. Let's go to the Ether Homes Ether Scan page. So we've got 17,583 tokens now sold over 8 different addresses with 10 transfers, which is awesome. You said somewhere that you will still own 25% of the company. Does that mean you will have a look how much ETH have been sent and then match 25% of them yourself? No, what I mean, Fryer, is that... So... And this is why I was saying, so now he's asked me sort of like an in-depth question. I'm going to obviously answer it because that's exactly what I'm here to do. But for anyone who's watching, your tokens that you buy of this Ether Homes will represent 1 share in the company. Now, them shares in that company, for me to be a person of significant control, meaning I can take debt out or accumulate assets without the permission of every shareholder, I need to have at least 25% shares in the company. Now, if you look at most cryptocurrencies, it's very similar to their governance token. So what will happen is the people that create the token, they will give themselves 80% of the total supply. I'm not looking to do that, so I'm actually just going to create 25% more shares than are generated through this pre-sale. So let's just say, for example, 20,000 shares get created. Let's use a different figure. Let's say 1 million shares get created. So 1 million tokens are sold, 1 million shares are created. I would have to generate actually 1.3 something million shares, because that would give me 25% of the overall share supply. But the tokens that are generated are still equivalent to 1 share of the company. It just means I own 25% of the company. Now that is the minimum that I could set myself. I could have said, like, actually it's going to be 50-50 or 70-30 or whatever, but I've read through the terms and conditions, I read through the implications of it. The minimum I have to have is 25%. So I'm literally giving myself the minimum that I can for this to work, so that I'm not like the overall warlord of this company, if you like. Obviously you guys have the right really to buy 75% of the rest of the company, and if I want to buy more shares, I have to buy more tokens the exact same way you guys do. So if we have a look down here, this purchase here of 6,800 tokens, that was me, and I think this one for 250 was me as well. So that means I have about 7,000 shares of the company, as well as my 25% that I will generate. So I hope that clears it up, Fryer. I hope I've answered your question good enough. I love your idea. I think there could be an angle marketing it as a real TV series or something. I can barely get these live streams to work, let alone create a TV series. David Howard says, hi Glenn. Hi David, thanks for joining in, regular viewer. Julian said, I had no idea what I was doing, but I went for it and it was scary. What do you mean, Julian? Have I missed a chat there somewhere? Oh, I bought tokens today. I had no idea what I was doing. I just went for it and it was a bit scary. Yeah, so a lot of people are getting confused actually with how you purchase these tokens. A lot of people are finding it hard. So I'm going to go over how you actually purchase these. Now, that first video, I quite like that actually. It's done 2 separate videos because I just did a really brief overview of what the project is. If I go over to my Google Chrome page, this is Uniswap. If I click on MetaMask, and this is the wallet that I would recommend that you use. But what you want to do is you want to go over to the Ether Homes homepage, which is this one here. And the simplest way I can put this is send Ethereum to this address. So really you want to copy that. You want to go to your MetaMask wallet or whatever ERC20 friendly thing that you're doing. So another one is Trust Wallet, and what's the other one there? My Ether wallet, or Mu as a lot of people call it. That's another cool one. I'm actually using Mu to store the smart contract. So anyway, so we're going to send this. We're going to send Home Token some Ethereum. So I've copy and pasted that address. So we're going to send some Ethereum. I'm going to paste the address here. And see, for me, I've saved it as crowd sale in my bloody hell. The Ethereum fees are huge at the moment. Right, let's do. Let's not let me put anything in. Let's put in 0.05. So it's $21 worth, and I'm going to do it slow, so it's going to cost me 5. That's 25%. So click next, and then we're going to click confirm. And then what it's going to do is it's going to send Ethereum to this smart contract. You're not sending me Ethereum. I just want to clarify that. I'm not receiving any of your Ethereum. Not yet, anyway. It goes to the smart contract, and what that smart contract then does is it will swap Ethereum for the equivalent amount using the sum of 1 Ethereum per 2,500 tokens, and it will send them tokens back to your wallet. So let's go over to Etherscan and see if that transacted. Now I did do a slow one. Oh look, there you go, it's already popped up. So it's pending. It was 37 seconds ago. And you can see there 0.5 Ethereum, and it's pending there. So we can click into this if we want to, and we can view this a bit further. It tells you how many blocks have been worked. You can see it's working its way there. How much that is in dollars, how much fee I paid, and then obviously what the contract's going to do. So Obviously, we'll wait for that to play out. It might take a little while because Ethereum is really bogged down at the moment. But yeah, that's it. That was it. That was easy, wasn't it? If you want to go on from that, if you want to take it the next step further, when you go back to your MetaMask, when you go down, you can add the home token to it if you want to. So you can click custom token, you can paste the address, and or that's the smart contract, sorry. Oof, I'm telling you to do the wrong thing. You can actually add the home token. You can either search home at the top here, or you can actually go to, let's go back out of this. Let's click on one of these transactions here. You see here where it says tokens transferred. So it went from this address to this address for this many home tokens. This is the Ether Homes page. This is the home token home page. If I clicked copy the contract address, you go over to your MetaMask and you can click add token. You have to click custom token and then you paste that address. Now I've already added it, but once you've done that stage, all you'll have to do is click next and you will see this appear, which is there. 7375 home. Now that's the you saw I made a transaction of 6,800 already, plus obviously the 250 that I've done before that, and I think I've done another one for like 200-300 quid. I think I'm gonna have to keep doing this over and over just so people can see me do it. Julian says it also works with Coinomi. I've never used them. But did you receive the home token alright? I just want to make sure that before I tell anyone that you can do that. I probably paid more fees than I need to because I did transfer at normal speed. Yeah, I mean, it's in a pre-sale, so I mean, as long as you're not hesitant to get the tokens, obviously you can't do anything with them. So it makes sense really to do it the slowest way possible, because even if it takes 2 days, it doesn't matter. The coins, the home tokens, are going to be in your wallet, and because the contract hasn't finished yet, it won't finish until the 24th of September, I think it is. These tokens are there in your wallet, but you can't move them from that wallet. You can't do anything with them. You can't send them to Uniswap. You can't sell them on an exchange. So you can't do anything with them. So there's no rush, and once you buy them as well, there's no way of refunding them or exchanging them in any way for the next 3 weeks anyway. So therefore, you might as well pay the slowest amount transaction fee, because even if it takes a day, 2 days, 4 days, whatever, for it to go through, it shouldn't do. It should only take a few hours, I suppose. But it saves you that bit of money. I'd rather you put in more home tokens rather than paying more gas fees. Jono says, what will you do differently if you get minimum amount versus the most in the pre-sale? Oh, that's a good question, Jono. No one's actually asked me that. So, the type of properties that I'm looking to purchase are going to range between anywhere from £15,000 all the way through to probably 150. Now, what I could do is if I raise, say, £35,000, I can use that as a 25% deposit on getting finance against the house, or if the house is cheap enough, buy it outright. Buying houses outright, they put you in a strong position. So imagine if you're trying to get rid of a car, an old car that you've had enough with it needs repair costs, it's costing you money every week or month. You want to get rid of it. If someone came along and said, look, I'll buy that off you right now cash, you're going to say, yeah, okay, but I want a discount. I want 10-20% off it. You'd say, yeah, all right, I'll take that on the chin. If someone comes along and says, oh, I need to sell my house first and I need to wait for that to go through and that'll take 8 weeks, and then I'll need to get the solicitors involved, it'll take me 6 weeks to buy your house. So now you're talking like a 3-month turnaround. you've got to ask yourself, well, should I just take the cash offer? So if I was to raise 100, 200,000 pounds, then it makes my life a lot easier, and actually it would probably generate better profit. So if I was to buy a house outright and then obviously get it renovated, literally you're talking about a very quick turnaround. So instead of that horrible 6 to 8 week mortgage process that normally buying houses take, you're now talking about a potentially like 2 week turnaround, a week turnaround if you're buying cash. This means I can buy the house quick, it means I can start renovating it. Say it takes 4 to 6 weeks to renovate, just off the top of my head, obviously we're talking about a hypothetical house. Well, the total turnaround then would be sort of like potentially 6 to 8 weeks, and that is buying, renovating and getting a tenant in there, you know, potentially. So the process is a lot faster, which means you can get bigger discounts, and also you're generating a month's extra or 2 months extra rental income, because the other way would have taken, you know, it's going to take you so long to buy the house and so long to renovate it, then get a tenant in there, so then you're talking like a 3-month, 4-month turnaround. Well, if you can do that in 1 month or 1.5 months, well, those other 3 months that you've saved yourself, now you're earning £500-600 a month rent. So therefore, already you're making 1,500 additional income versus if you was to do it down the traditional route. Then you've got to worry about interest rates. So you've got to start paying interest on any money you borrow. You've got to pay setup fees. You've got to pay cancellation fees, all these sorts of fees. So this is the route that I'm going to have to go down, and for it to be profitable I have to really manage my time, money, and also like who I give it to and how I do it. I have to be really sort of like strict with the numbers. Whereas if I had enough money to buy the house just cash, that is easy street. It still has its implications, still a bit difficult, but it's a lot easier. Now also, if you are raising, if you were raising more money, then the list of properties that are available to you, the list of opportunities that are available to you, expand. So if I'm only looking at, say, properties in the UK, let's actually have a look. Actually, I've never actually shown you guys Rightmove, I suppose. Let's have a look at Rightmove. This is a website in the UK which really you should only be taken apart if you're from the UK. This is a draw map feature. So if I was looking at houses in a specific area, I could just draw an area here. Now, if let's just say I take this area for example, let's click view properties. These are all the properties, the little red dots. So you can see here there's 57,719 properties available in this area. Now, if I put on here that the maximum price I'm willing to go to is 50,000, all of a sudden that figure drops right down. So let's say we the property type, you could pick terrace, semi-detached, flat, whatever it is you want to do. At the moment we've got 525 results, so that 57 went down pretty quick. Let's exit the map and view those properties. So these are the type of properties that we'd be looking for, but remember we need a very specific type of property. So this one would be no good to us. I can tell you that straight away, because this is a property that it's already livable conditions, which means you can get a mortgage on it, which means that person expects top whack for it. But let's see if we can find one here that needs, like this one looks pretty dated, but still not too bad. We want one that's really, let's have a look at, how's this listed? Is this top? Yeah, highest price. We want lowest price, right? That I would have been better if I'd done that. So now we're going to see properties here. Well, we don't want to worry about land just yet. But that's another thing actually. If you raise a decent chunk of money, something that is very hard to do in this country is raise mortgages against land. So people don't tend to buy land unless they've got cash. You go and buy the land, you get planning permission, or you buy land that's already got planning permission, and then you get a mortgage on building the house. You can call them build to lets, where you are intentionally building a house to rent out. And then obviously you can, once it's all done, they'll come around and value the property, and they'll give you a mortgage based on that, what it's worth at that time, valuation. I would love to do that, and that would have very high return on profits as long as nothing bad happens, unforeseen costs. But that would offer very high rental returns over a long period of time. Your mortgage is going to be cheap as well. If you buy a plot of land for, say, 50 or 80,000, you spend 120 to 150 building a house, which is sort of like an average cost for an average size property. Then all in total, you're looking at spending 230, but that property may be worth, depending on its location, 300,000. So already you've made £80,000 or something like that. Again, these are all hypothetical figures. Please don't hold them against me. But this is something that happens day in, day out in the world of properties. But people that can't be bothered to do it or don't want to do it, they don't see it. So like, for example, like this one here, this is a plot of land that's going through auction, sale by live stream on the 9th of September, guide price 1,500. So you could buy a little plot of land there. Who knows whether it's, I assume that's no planning permission. Some of them though will have planning permission to build certain size properties. So if you could pick these up cheap enough, then yeah, that can be very profitable. This one here is guide price £5,000. Let's have a look at this one, because I bet this one's a bit of a dive. Right, there's no pictures. So this is like, already this has piqued my interest. Why? Because estate agents or people trying to, they're only going to show you the good side. It's very rare that they show you the ugly nitty gritty. Now we can already see that there's a lot of grime around the door, and it doesn't look like it's been well looked after. So I would imagine this property is a bit of diving. So by public auction on the 16th of December. Please note that the auction will be live streamed via our website, blah, 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 blah. A mid-terrace standing flush with pavement and is in need of refurbishment. There you go, boom. So already we're on the right path. Now this has a guide price of 5,000. What that means is that the auction, they want to draw in as many people as they can, so they put the lowest price. So people that are not properly aware, they'll go, God, we could buy a house for £5,000, but really this is just 10% under the reserved price. So that means this house probably has to sell for a minimum, I would imagine, of about, I'm gonna say £7,000 to £10,000, and that's just me guessing. No one knows the reserve price. But if we look here, properties that sold nearby. So number 34, and bearing in mind these houses that live on these terrace streets, they all typically are the same. So let's have a little look a bit further into this. We can see a house sold for 50,000, 30,000, 59,000, 41,000, 58. 73, that's quite high. But you got to remember, some of these might be end of terraced or 3 or 4 bedroom houses, so you have to be careful. Don't just look at the highest figures. So looking at this, if you look at all these figures, I would say the average, we've got one here for 55, 37, 49. Obviously it all depends on how long ago they were. I would imagine that these properties on this road are worth about £50,000. So this is the type of property that we would be looking at as Ether token holders. So if you wanted to own a share of this property, obviously you've got to imagine that it's going to be completely renovated. So it will look all lovely inside, ready to move in, new boiler, new kitchen, new bathroom, carpets, freshly painted, the full works. Looks lovely, double glazed windows. Now this might not be the nicest street to live on in the world. I'm sure many of you might watch this video and go, oh, I'd never live down there. But we're not living there. People that want to rent a cheap property will live there. And as long as they pay their rent every month, then happy days. And if you're earning enough profit from it, then there's very low risk. Like if the mortgage wasn't paid on something like this, you're talking about £150 a month. So, you know, I could take that on the chin. If you're earning sort of £200-300 a month profit, realistically what you want to do is put 3 to 6 months worth of money aside just in case something happens. So this can be incorporated in the budget, which I do on my property. I put 10 to 15% aside every month, so that if anything was to happen one month, then I've got a buffer there, so it doesn't cost me a penny. So this is the type of property that Ether Home tokens will get you. If I hit the minimum threshold, this is the type of property we're looking for. If, say, I raised, I don't know, 100,000, 200,000, then we can look a bit more higher end, something that will rent for more money a month, and something that is more desirable. Remember, we want to split this into 2 different categories. We want capital growth, and we also want good rental yield. So you want to find the balance of the 2. Now, if you just want to buy property and just rent it out and receive really good rental yields, then this is the type of property you want, because this is a very cheap house which will cost very little to renovate, and it will rent almost straight away. Why am I so confident on that? Because if you can't afford £700-800 a month to live in a house, you're going to look at these type of properties. These are going to rent for £395 a month, 400, 450s, which for someone in the UK is very low rent. Just to give you an example, I pay closer to 900 where I live, so this house is half the cost, and that's renting. If I was to rent my property out, it would probably rent for 12 to 1400 a month. So now you're talking about a property that is a third or a quarter of what a house down this way would be to rent. So yeah, these rent out very quickly because there's a demand for people that want to rent cheaper properties that are in good nick. So this is spot on. Obviously, I can't see inside it, so this is where I need to now go and view the property. I need to be there at the auction ready to rock and roll. I need to have all my details ready, and I need to be able to bid on it. Now, people always ask me, what property are you going to buy? What's it going to look like? How much is it going to be? Now, I could go to this auction, and let's say that we're basing our figures that this property is worth £50,000. Obviously, we're going to renovate it to a nice standard. Let's just say, for example, it's £60,000 it'll be worth at the end of it. If it's got, remember, we can only remortgage this up to 75%. So really, we can only get a mortgage of £45,000 to £48,000 on this property. So really, we don't want to pay no more than 48 plus the renovation cost. So let's say it's going to cost 12 grand to renovate. Now, we don't want to spend no more on this property than about £32,000. £32,000 will get you the property, you can renovate it, then once the remortgage happens, you'll get the 45 back out, and that gives you 100% return on investment. That's the type of property that we need to make Ether Homes a success. Now imagine if you owned 10 of these, and they're all earning you £200 a month. Now you're earning £2,000 per month for nothing, for essentially the hard work that you put in at the beginning. And really, rent typically goes up every year, so this will continue until whenever the cows come home. Now these will be owned by the company Ether Homes. They won't be owned by me personally, they will be owned by Ether Homes. And if you own the home token, you own a share of Ether Homes, which therefore you will own a share of this house. A random gaming dude says, "Hey Glenn, it's been quite a while since I've made it onto a live stream." That's alright, welcome mate. I know you've been a viewer for a long time. I hope you're doing well. Paul G says, "If I buy some tokens, how does that mean I own part of the property? In what name will the title of the property be held? If you're getting a mortgage, we are not just buying debt." No, so when you own home tokens, you own the equivalent amount of shares in a company. So imagine if you was to buy Tesla shares. You own a share of that company. How dividends are paid out is down to the shareholders and whatever. Well, I'm offering you a home token is 1 share of Ether Homes, which is a company that I'm registering. That will include the website, any asset that it owns, any debts that it owns. But the debts will have a loan to value ratio of about 75%. So they'll be against each asset. So a lot of people are getting this confused with, oh, so you're getting debt with the home token. No, we're getting debt against the assets individually, but typically the company will own a 25% equity in that property and any rental income that comes from that property. So you're earning 2 ways: capital growth on the property and also rental yield. Now, if the token goes up in value as well, you're now accumulating a 3rd revenue of income. And then you've got the dividends. Oh no, I've already mentioned that one, the rental income. So you're actually earning 3 ways, which I think is quite unique out there. I don't know any other coins out there where you can earn 3 different ways. Obviously, if you own 1% of 25 grand, or if you own 1% of 100 grand, you still own 1%. So each property will have its equity that are tied up in the property. If you believe houses to go up in value, which they have done pretty much since the dawn of time, over a long period, then this is a fairly safe business model. Obviously the risks come in if I was to buy that property, realise that there was some massive damp issue or subsidence, and all of a sudden the costs of renovating that property become way higher. What income will... hang on, let me answer one at a time. What happened with your last project? Did you sell it or rent it? I rented it. I'm renting it now, actually. Just met up with the letting agents on Thursday. So they will be advertising it and renting it out as of tomorrow because it's bank holiday in the UK. So they said, oh, it probably won't go live till Tuesday. So I expect that to be rented out pretty quickly. But we'll see. I'll let you guys know. I'm very happy with how that project went. Literally, my budget was spot on with that. I really put everything I had into that, and I got it spot on. Paul G says, are you going into developing and selling on or holding and renting? Holding and renting. So I've learnt this actually through cryptocurrency. You want to... the best thing to do is hodl, is to hold. If you've got an asset that is typically going up in value and is earning you a passive income, 2 sources of income there, why would you get rid of it? Why? A lot of people keep banging on at me saying, and this is in my personal life, not for this project, a lot of people will say to me, oh, that property that you've bought has gone up 20% or whatever. I can't remember what the exact figures are off the top of my head, about 20 grand actually. Why don't you sell it and just keep the 20 grand? Why? Why would you do that? Like, just rent it out, because in 50 years' time, that property is going to have so much more equity in it, you would think. After the project is profitable, how are the profits distributed and how often? So I'll have to do the accounts probably once a year, probably around April time, because that makes life easier for me. And then it's up to you guys. Whoever owns majority of the share tokens, obviously they'll have a bigger say in how the tokens are distributed, but you will all have voting rights. You will all have a right to say, I would like to get paid in Ethereum or Bitcoin or in the burning of other Ether Home tokens, or reinvest it. It's entirely up to you guys. I'll leave that to you. Really, you should be asking yourself, how would you like your dividends paid to you? Obviously, I can do snapshots of your wallet addresses at the time. So yeah, it's entirely down to you guys. And that's the same with a lot of companies. If you go to Apple, if you're a shareholder, obviously you can have a shareholders meeting. They normally have them once a year, and they discuss how dividends are paid out. And if we look at recently, we've had a lot of people own stocks because they pay dividends. But what we've seen is over this lockdown, a lot of companies have said, well, look, we've just furloughed a lot of our staff, so it's not fair that we pay dividends to shareholders. So we've seen a lot of companies refusing to pay dividends this year, which I think is rightly so. So this is something that can change year on year. This is why I haven't put a solid, like, you will be paid in this, because some people will be like, well, I don't really believe in Ethereum. I don't think Ethereum's going to go up. Some people will say, well, I think Ethereum's the best investment of a lifetime. Some people will say, well, look, you've done really well the first year, 2 years. I'd rather reinvest it because I'll hold on for another year. It's down to you. It's really down to you guys. If you are going to rent them, where will your funding come from further purchases? Good question, Paul. So this is how the model works. I purchase a property, ideally cash, ideally. So the more funds we raise, the easier my job is. We buy this house cash, just for example. I'm not saying I will definitely buy this property. I'm just using this as an example. I go to auction, we have our figure in our mind. Now, I've already just plucked a figure out saying £32,000. So I estimate that this is going to go for about £30,000 to £32,000. Plus you've got to pay auction fees, you have to include all of that in your calculations. So we go to the auction and they start going, right, can I have 20 grand? And you bid 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, whatever. And you start bidding for it. And eventually hammer comes down, you buy it for 28,000. That's when the real work starts. You then get it all checks, surveyed, everything like that. Then you go in and renovate the property. You renovate the property and then hopefully it will be valued at the figure that you've done your market research on. And if anyone was to come to you and say, like, oh no, your property is only worth 45 grand, you could say, well, hang on a minute, look, I've got all these examples of all these similar houses in this very small location on this same road that have all sold for £50,000. Why are you valuing this at 45? Now he might say, well, because the UK's in a recession, we're leaving the EU, blah blah blah, inflation's gone up or whatever. And that is obviously something that can happen down the line. But as long as you've done your homework at the beginning, that should put you in good stead going forward. So let's say now we've got our money back 100%. So we remortgage it. We bought the house cash, so all our cash is tied up in the house. We then get a mortgage on the property and we get 100% of our money back out. All the money that we've spent buying the property and renovating it, we now get back. It's in our account, or it's in my account. Well, then I can go and buy another property for 45 grand again and do the same. Do exactly the same. And you can repeat this over and over again. I recommend that you try and do this in your personal life. But obviously there are risks. There could be a massive downturn in the housing market. Depending on the area, if you pick an area where there's renowned for, I don't know, like properties being vacant for a long period of time, then yours is probably going to get added to that list. So you need to make sure you do lots and lots of research. This is why this game is more about doing research at the beginning and doing your sums rather than just going to auction and seeing what you could pluck out of thin air. Now, obviously, if you do buy a dud home like that, you can just put it back through the auction and hope, fingers crossed, that you get the same money back that you paid for it. So auctions tend to put a 30-day selling stamp on a property, so they'll say it has to be completed within 30 days. Some of them offer 14 days. Like the property I bought had to be completed in 14 days. It had to be. Otherwise, you forfeit the sale of the house. Now, if you buy a cash, again, it just makes the process really quick. You can buy the house there and then. When you actually sign the paperwork at the auction, that's actually you exchanging contracts on house. So usually that takes a few weeks to go through the process, like selling a house. But with auction, it would be there and then. So you've already exchanged. So You're already set in stone. If you're buying cash, boom, done. You can pay the cash there and then if you want. Debit card, bank transfer, whatever. Obviously, then you need to get solicitors instructed to do your searches and land registry and everything like that. If you have to get a mortgage, obviously this delays things. This is where bridging finance comes into it. Bridging finance is a type of finance where they will lend you sums of money over a short period, but they charge higher interest rates and, crucially, big fees. So if I wanted to buy a house for 100 grand over a 6-month period, just while I buy the property and renovate it, they might charge me 2 grand to set that loan up, and also there's an interest rate of, I don't know, 4% or something like that, 5%. You pay that at the beginning as well, so you don't actually receive 100 grand, you now only receive 95 grand because they take all the fees out at the beginning, all the monthly payments. So now you don't have a monthly payment, but the house, you've borrowed the money to get the house. Crucially, what you need with a lot of these bridging finances is 25% as a deposit. Hence why I've set a soft cap of about £35,000 to £50,000, depending on the price of ethereum at the time, because I feel that this would give me enough to go out there and say, yep, I've got 25% deposit, let's get the finance on this property, let's get it bought, renovated, revalued, and then we'll get a proper 25-year mortgage on it, and then we'll get some tenants in there to rent out. That releases the funds. You then obviously go out and buy another one. So I hope that's explained it. What income will pay the mortgages? So if you rent a property out for, say, just for example, the house that I've just bought recently, we're going to probably remortgage it for about £65,000, and the monthly payments on that are about £215 a month. The property should rent for £475. I'm actually going to put it up for £450 because I want a quick rent. If you take the £25 off per month, if the property rents 1 month quicker because you're a bit cheaper than all the rest, then £25 over a year is £300. Whereas if you miss out on 1 month's payment because there was a bit of them and an iron because you're at the top end, well then you've lost out. So I'm actually putting it up for £450, but you know, I could push it out there and get £475. That means that there would be a profit of about £250 a month. Now, if you want to, you could set your mortgage as a repayment mortgage so that you're paying the mortgage off faster. It means you would earn less a month. You may only earn £150 a month profit, but then you're paying the mortgage off, which is, I think that is a good way to do it. Now, if the shareholders are like, no, all we care about is profits, we want the profits, then obviously we'll have to go down that route. But if everyone's like, actually, Glenn, I'd rather you pay chunks of the mortgage off, let's get it paid off as quick as possible, therefore the tokens would actually have an even bigger share of the total property. I personally would like to see that happen. I'd love these mortgages to be, you know, more like these properties to be mortgage free, ideally, and rented out. But for the business model, that would work if you just wanted to buy one house. But obviously, the business model that I'm suggesting to you guys, or putting forward to you, is accumulating as many properties as possible with the same amount of money. And this is called recycling. So I'm putting money in, I'm getting it back out. I'm putting money in, I'm getting it back out. Putting money in, getting it back out. I'm recycling funds. So I hope that makes sense. I hope you guys have got that. How is voting organised? We just suggest ways. So yeah, this is probably the toughest part of my decision making, is how do I go about voting rights for shareholders. I think I'm probably going to have to do like an email. Don't database, so I accumulate all your email addresses, and then obviously send out to everyone, look, this is how much profits, this is the official accounts that have been submitted. You can check it on the gov.uk website or Companies House, and you can view the company's profits that have been submitted by a properly accredited accountant. Then obviously people will be able to vote. Now, some people suggested that I release a governance token for this project, and then people can vote using that. I don't like that, and I've not looked into that, but that's one method. Obviously the simplest way is creating some sort of poll and just sharing it with people that have the tokens at the time, and using their Ethereum address for the home token address. So if we go over to Ether Homes, this address here, I can use this and say, okay, they've got a voting right of 250, this person's got 1,250, and some people might not vote, they might not care, they may just think, I just am buying this, I'm hoping the tokens go up in value, and I would imagine that's what a lot of people are going to do. But if people are really into this project and they're like, I want voting rights and I want to decide, I could say, do you want to be paid in Ethereum? That would be the simplest way, because I can just do a screenshot, snapshot they call it, of exactly who has what tokens on what given time or date, and say, right, all these addresses here as of this snapshot, they will receive a share equivalent to the amount of tokens they hold for Ether Home. So that's another way that we can do it. Someone's oh no, that was me, wasn't it? That's that slow transaction that I've done. So I've got 125 tokens for that. So yeah, there's several different ways. You guys, really, the shareholders, will be the ultimate determining factor on how that actually happens. So I'm interested to see where that goes. Random Gamer Dude says, although I'm in America and can't participate, I love the transparency and the idea. Thanks, mate. I really appreciate that. I hope it goes well and hits its soft cap. I really do as well. I've got a feeling that it is. A lot of people are messaging me saying, I really want to take part, I really want to get involved in this, how can I do it? I just want to speak to you first, I just want to ask questions. And every question that anyone has ever asked me, so far I've had an answer for. I haven't had to go away and look into it. I already had it, in my head. I've already got it planned out. So I know exactly where this company is heading and what it can achieve. It's just whether it will or not. It's like that's down to all I can do is pitch the idea. It's up to people to actually jump in and participate. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, guys. Is there any other questions you guys have? Anything else you guys can think of? I'm loving the questions, by the way. I think that's awesome. We've only got 2 likes on this video, but we've had like 10 to 14 viewers. So most of you are not hitting that like button for me, so hopefully you can hit it so this gets shared out to more people. YouTube loves that. I need to make some adjustments to the website. I need to change loads of spellings. I need to add the video that we've produced, and also change the photo on there. Oh, there's loads more questions. I just didn't track down. Let's have a look. Oh no, have I read them all? Hope it goes well. Oh no, I have read them all. Damn it. Got really excited then. I thought, oh, loads more questions. You can obviously help by posting this or tagging Ether Homes, the Twitter page. So the more people see a token and hear about it, the more likely they are to obviously want to take part in it. So, if you guys want to share it on your social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Discord, Telegram, just put it in there, like check out www.ether-homes.com. I'm buying the home token pre-sale, tag the Ether Homes page in it, so I can get notified and I can comment on it and share it and like it and all of that. So yeah, I'm trying my best. I've been I've been going full blown shill. So I've just been going on Twitter commenting on every single. I don't even know who half the people are. Just commenting on it, saying, "Oh yeah, I've just checked out the Ether Homes page." So now I sound exactly like the scammers in the comment section of YouTube videos saying, "Oh, you should take part in, the Zilliqa pre-sale and all that." So I've put on the middle of the page the exact contract address. So anyone who's ever looked into this project, they can say, "Oh, that's the exact smart contract address that I should send Ethereum to." So if anyone ever messages you saying, "Oh yeah, send Ethereum to this address," that looks like Ether Homes, don't do it. Come and copy and paste this one, and then that way you can't be scammed. So yeah, like a random gamer dude is saying, I'm trying to be as honest and transparent and as clear and vocal, and I'm trying to do everything in my power to make this project a success. I've been looking at the Wi-Fi token, as I'm sure many of you are, because it's pumped so ridiculously high in the last weekend or so. I was actually away for a few days. Wi-Fi has gone down. That's a bit annoying. But yeah, these have been pumping like crazy. They're on a bit of a dip for the next couple of days, I reckon, because they went up so high so quick. But it makes me laugh because, say, like, some of these tokens were only created a week ago. And if we have a look at, say, this one, I don't even know what this one is, YFFI, or YFFL, it came out, it absolutely tanked in price, and it was worth 31 cent, 16 cent. Now, it has just jumped to, what was it now, $255. If Ether Homes done anything like that, mental. Bearing in mind, obviously, the token that I'm looking to raise currently at current prices works out to be about 11 pence. So that's a lot less than these. And with this YFL, what's really interesting is that there was only actually 30,000 coins created, and they're all in circulated supply. There was no pre-mine of it, no pre-sale. The guy who created it started mining it first, so he accumulated it the same way everyone else did. But it reminded me a lot of the project I'm making. You know, I've tried to make this as fair and clean and clear as I possibly can. So I'm hoping that it will pay dividends. Not literally. I'm hoping it will pay out for me and the community as well, because obviously I'm the figurehead. Now, if people start looking into the project and start watching back these YouTube videos, if they start seeing, oh, okay, so at the start of the project, Glenn hardly owned any of the tokens, and, you know, there's no pre-mine, no I'm not putting any aside for the development team and the marketing and the referral scheme. It's down to you guys. Hopefully, that will pay dividends later, because people will say, oh, okay, so, you know, only, I don't know, let's just say 50,000 tokens were created during the pre-sale, so that's it, that's how many there are. And Glenn's, that no one person owns a like 99% majority share, like say XRP. I'm hoping that people will find value in that and say, yeah, I want to own some house, some property, and I know that I haven't got this huge token holder dumping on the market every time it goes up in price. So I'm hoping that's going to pay dividends to people later on. I hope that the share price, the token price, will just skyrocket from there. Personally, that's what I think is going to happen, especially if we're still in an alt season. If we're in an alt season while this coin gets released and added to Uniswap, and then some of the Uniswap Telegram channels pick up on it and Twitter, and they start saying, oh look, this is a coin that's had a successful pre-sale, and this is really key, guys. So if we have a successful pre-sale, This will send a message to anyone else looking to get involved. Now, people will be like, oh shit, there's a community of people that really love this project. I want to get some. And they will pay 20 cent, 30 cent, 40 cent, $1, $2 to get involved. But obviously, during that ride up, you've already potentially like 100 extra money, 200x, because obviously going from like 11 pence to £2 is, you know, a 20x. It doesn't seem like that when you just look at it and think, oh, it's worth $1.50 or $2, whatever it may be, or 200x. Sorry. So I've got in my mind, and I shouldn't speculate really, because obviously it will lead you guys to make maybe different decisions than what you would normally, but I've got very high hopes for this project. I expect this token to do very, very well. Whether the pre-sale works or not, I don't know, because it's very ICO. It's very 2017. But this seemed like the best way and the fairest way on a community and the people that are investing at an early stage. If I had just dumped this on Uniswap, I would have you guys buying the token through Uniswap, so therefore it already creates a market, volume, as well as people that are just literally like, oh, this is a new coin that's starting to pump, let's just buy that, and those people get involved, and they won't look into the project, they won't look into the social medias, they won't say, oh yeah, it's got a share tied to a company and it gets dividends. They won't look into any of that, and I know that because I do it myself. If we look at CoinGecko.com, this is the top trending coins, and some people are just literally investing based on what that comes up there, because for it to be trending, it means that there's a lot of people on CoinGecko searching for that particular token, and putting money into things like this one here, Swapfolio. Don't know what it is, don't care, but potentially I would buy, $500 or $1,000 worth of that just to see what happens to it in the next coming days. Only got released yesterday, so it got hang on a minute, let's go back. It got released on the 28th of August, which was about 2 days ago. And it started off at 10 pence, 10.5 pence, which is very similar to what the home token is going to be priced at in the pre-sale. And you can see here it actually dipped, went down to sort of 7 cent, 8 cent, and now it's at 28 cents. So this has really shot up in price, obviously in the last what's that, I don't know, hour or so, 2 hours. So yeah, huge opportunity for growth there, and I really hope that we can make a success of this between me and the community. It means that I profit, it means you profit, it means everyone's a winner, and then people that actually just want to accumulate properties, I can go and do that with ease because we've raised money, plus the tokens are going up in value. Brilliant news. Now, when Bitcoin goes up massively and goes on a big bull run, people will dump their altcoins, but I'm assuming a lot of you out there will just be like, I'm going to hold on to the token because I believe in the project. I've been involved in it since the pre-sale. So you'll ride out that storm, but who knows? I've got no control over the markets once it's released onto Uniswap. I wish I had. A random gamer dude says, yikes, I haven't seen a project go down so fast since Litecoin Crash. Yeah. Litecoin Cash was an absolute waste. But people still put money into it. I don't understand that. I don't understand who. Damn, 33k YFI. Bitcoin still has a higher market cap, but wow, almost triple. Yeah, so to buy one YFI at the moment, you have to use 3 Bitcoin to buy it, which is insane. But at the moment, it's giving people something to use, saying that they want. But this has gone from a couple of £1,000 to £34,000 very, very quickly. Now, this would say to me that this is going to have a sharp decline, and we're going to see a lot of people saying, oh, I got wrecked and destroyed on YFI. It's just gone down 50%, 70%, whatever it may be, because that's what happens in cryptocurrency, especially if all the altcoins start to drop off in price. But we'll see where this goes. Very, very interesting project. All the others are complete scams. But this one reminds me of Bitcoin from 2016, really. Everyone was calling Bitcoin a scam, and everyone said Bitcoin's only used for drug dealers. And the price obviously just shot up. A lot of people don't understand this yearn finance, but because there's only 30,000 of them, the more people that want to get involved, they have to pay a premium to get some. So who knows where this is going to go? I wouldn't even like to guess. I mean, it could be 50,000 tomorrow, or it could be 50. It could be 1,500. It could be, $500 tomorrow. It's complete. It would be a complete gamble and guess to say where that price target is going to go. My guess is that YFI is near its all-time high. Yeah, it was a bit weird. They all pumped. All of them pumped at the same time. Huge amounts, and we're starting to see a lot of them drop back off in price now. So if we have a look at this one here, DFI, that went up to $6,000, and now it's retracing back down to sort of $4,000, going below that. This one is actually at its all-time high at the moment, but in the last hour it started to dip. But yeah, these are the projects where people will panic and they'll go, oh God, I want to double my money. And they will put their money into this and they will probably lose. Like if you put your money in this one in the last hour, bearing in mind it's up 251%, it's just gone down 32% in 1 hour. 1 hour that has gone down 32%. Now my coin might do that. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with the market, but at least with my token you know what you're getting for your money and you know what's going to be associated with this, whereas these are just, they're forks. And even CoinGecko, this is CoinGecko, they give you a little message saying, warning, this coin has not been fully audited. It's yet another fork of Yearn Finance. For the original, please go to blah 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 blah. So they're actually trying to get you to go away from these pages, and it says that with all of them. These YF, one of them was really aggressive. I thought, I can't remember what it said. Was it this one? But anyway, they're all pumping in price, but they're also now dumping very, very quickly. So if you put money in this in the last couple of hours, you're going to start losing money straight away. So you'd have to hope for another run up at some point. Or you can take part in Ether Homes and actually own something. Own a security or a share of a legit UK-based company that will have tax returns done on it, that will own assets, that will actually have an employee. Own some of that. And the token, in theory, is a stable coin. So the amount of tokens at the moment, they're not going up or down in price. So if there's a big dump in the market, this will probably be one of the best tokens to hold in the pre-sale. But then who knows what's going to happen to it once it's released on Uniswap? I don't know. But all I know is that it's got the same price at the moment, which is about 11 pence. Depending on whether Ethereum really shoots up in price or dips in price, it might go down to 10 cent, it might go up to 13 cent. I don't know. It all depends on the price of Ethereum. But all I know is that's the price today. The price today is about 11 pence per home token. And you can take part in that right now. All you have to do is copy and paste this contract address and send it Ethereum. That's it. And you're in. As you can see, I've already sent a transaction on this live stream. And how long have I been live streaming for? I set a slow transaction time rather than paying all the fees that are currently out there. And how long have we been streaming for? Average watch time. 1 hour. So within an hour, that's already confirmed and gone through. Let's actually check our MetaMask wallet, see if they're in there. See the Ethereum's come out, and there we go. I've got 7,500. That's a lot better number, actually. I'm glad I've done that. It's nice and clean. So yeah, that's it. And I plan to buy more. Axion Hex 2T may be a good punt. Yeah, all these Hex forks, again, they all seem very, very scammy to me. So I'm not even looking into them, to be honest. And like I say, for the next 3 weeks, remember, you've only got 3 weeks. If you're watching this video and you think, yeah, I quite like the project, you know, I know that a lot of you out there are probably watching this and saying, well, I'll wait until the last day because I can make some gains with these quick coins that are pumping. That's great, but all I'm saying is, why not secure yourself some tokens now at today's prices? So just maybe buy $100 worth or £100 worth, or even 50 or 20, like you just saw there. I just bought $20 worth, which is about probably £17, £16 worth. Whilst we've been on this live stream, and I've got those tokens then, and then trade with the rest of your money, and if you gain some money, put some profits maybe into Ether Homes or not. It's entirely up to you. I'm not going to ram it down your throat. I'm not going to force anyone to do anything they don't want to do. Make sure you do your own research, but I've made this as verifiable and clean and clear as I possibly can and make it fair. Couldn't have done this any fairer way, I believe, in my opinion. So hopefully you'll take part. I'd love to see you come on this journey with me. I will let you know that I own another company that's nothing to do with cryptocurrency, where I do this for a living. Buy properties, renovate and rent them out. So I have the experience, I have the expertise, I have the knowledge, I have everything there. The only reason I'm doing this is to raise capital so that I can purchase more homes quicker, and also get this on the blockchain. So it's now opening it up so that someone in, say, Spain, if they thought, yeah, I'd like to own a property in the UK, but I've only got €100, well, you could buy €100 worth of Ethereum, send it over to the smart contract, and you'll own home tokens, and you will own a share of property. So I'm sort of trying to mix decentralized finance with the current housing sector and how it works. I'm trying to connect the two together. It's a great project. I'm going to take part just to be along for the journey, like watching a TV series. Well, I'm going to record the whole process anyway that I'm investing in. Yeah, I'm going to be recording the whole process, and what I'm really excited for, if we hit the soft cap, is everyone sort of then jumping in saying, oh my god, my coins have just 2x, 3x, 10x or whatever. Glenn, thank you so much. You've created a good project. You've made me money. You've created me overall wealth. I'm so glad I took part in the pre-sale. You know, all of that's what I'm expecting to happen. That's what I'm predicting will happen. And it will give me a really good feeling knowing that I've created wealth for people without even having purchased my first asset. And once I buy the first asset, then I'm creating more wealth for people and myself, and also rental yield. Gary joins in and he says, aren't you giving yourself 25% of the shareholding that isn't backed by any Ether tokens? That is right. So there is the company directors shares and there is the shareholder shares. The shareholder shares are 100% up for grabs by anyone that purchase home tokens, but I need to have a 25% share stake, which is the minimum amount to become a person of interest. I have to have the ability to purchase properties, otherwise this business model does not exist. Now, if the government had set that at 10%, I would have set myself 10%. But the minimum they request is 25% to have someone of significant control. So I have to own 25% of the company, Gary, not my personal choice. I would rather own more of the tokens myself. But more importantly, you can see all the tokens that I own. So as well as the 25% that will be put aside for directors' shares, then you can also see that I actually, out of the 17,500, I own 7,000 of them essentially. So less than 50% now, which is really good. I'm well happy with that. I thought, oh, what if I'm the only one who puts money into it? But I'm going to be buying more. But as it stands at the moment, I have a 50% share in all of the tokens anyway, because not that many people have invested so far. We've only had like 8 people actually invest. So when this goes up and becomes more decentralized, as it goes on Uniswap, and then it starts going out to all loads of people, hopefully the amount of token percentage wise that I own will become less and less. And that's very odd for me to say, because you'd think this is my baby, my project. I want to own a majority of all the tokens, and I will be buying them up. If they come up very cheap on Uniswap, I'll be buying them up, and I'll be holding on to them, because obviously I'm going to use the funds to purchase a property, and I believe in this project. Once it owns a few assets, that this is going to go up in price. A random gamer dude says, I think there will be some website that did something like this called Westland Storage, but it was a hype and scammed out everything within a year. Yeah, there's loads of them out there. Literally, there are so many tokens on Uniswap where they are literally just scams, but people will put their money into it, chasing sometimes 10-20% gains, and to sell the tokens a couple of hours later. But by then it's already too late. They've already taken all the money out of it. Who is the second director? No one. It's between the director, myself, and the shareholders. Unless we employ someone else, if the business became big enough for there to be a need to, then it's just between me and the shareholders. So like, think of the shareholders, you guys as a collective is one person, and obviously me as the director as the other person. Why would the value of Ether home tokens ever be speculated on? They have no use other than backed by the exact same value in property. That's a very good question. Why would they be speculated on? Well, obviously I'm looking to purchase more properties as I go through it, so you could speculate on that. And also the token itself, you don't know how much profit is going to be generated each year, year on year. And obviously as each year goes on, the more properties that I have already in the bank and the new ones I'm acquiring, the profit margins should go up. People won't know that until obviously the accounts are done at the beginning of April. So that's a second speculation that you could put on it. My third point to that is, you will be surprised what people will invest in or speculate on, especially on Uniswap, based on the community, based on pure technical analysis. So if a coin goes down 20-30%, technical analysis will all talk and say, look at this coin here, it's just hit this line of resistance and we think it's going to pump, and they will buy just for that. At the moment, this is a traders led market. We are all at the mercy of people trading all of these coins. None of them are worth what their current market cap says. So we are led by technical analysis enthusiasts, if you like. Because if you look at, say, Bitcoin, when it dumps, especially following in line with gold, I always think, why do people that own gold and Bitcoin, why would they sell their Bitcoin or short it because the price of gold is pumping? It doesn't make sense. So there's people out there that are just purely speculating on anything that's out there, that they think, oh yeah, I can see this going up a lot more. So yeah, I think the same every day, Gary, to loads of coins. Why is any of these YF tokens? Because UM Finance is the daddy. They're all hard forks off it. And some of them have got really high market caps. Why? I don't know. I can't see why. And some of them are, in my opinion, pure jokes. Sushi is one of them at the moment. It's up to $5.77. And even the creator of the YFI, he has said the token has no value. That's what he said. But currently people are buying it for $35,000. I know you can actually do something with it, but for the guy who created the token say this coin has zero worth, yet it's being speculated on, versus a coin that actually has assets. And remember, I've valued this coin only on what I think it will raise. So if it raises £50,000, well, I believe the project to be worth £50,000. I've not said, oh, I believe that this is going to have a market cap of 1.2 trillion. I'm saying it's only worth what the assets are tied against it, but who knows? That's not how TA works, and that's not how traders like. This isn't a speculation, though. This is tied to the value of assets behind Ether Homes. Yeah, I think that's how businesses should be valued, but I don't know. You tell me, how many assets do Chainlink own? How many assets do Litecoin own? What is backed by Litecoin? Or, I don't know, any of these coins, Hex, Crypto.com. It's interesting to me that people will just put their money into anything just for the pure, because some technical analysis guy said on Twitter that it might go up 10% in a day. They are speculating on the debasement on fiat BTC, that is, that others are valued on the belief in the coding and innovation. Yeah, I think maybe there's a couple of them out there. So I think YFI is one of those. So Yearn Finance, Monero, and Bitcoin. They have their speculation and what people believe them to be worth. But obviously there'll be actually something backing my one. There will be actual assets, and there will be actually equity created through the renovation of those properties, and there'll be a passive income earned from the rental yields of those properties. So I think there's several things in there where you could say, okay, that is going to generate so much profit for the company per year. And as we saw recently with Cellulus and Nexo, they had their sort of dividends coming up, and the price of Nexo was just going up and up and up and up and up and up, more than the company's worth or what it should be worth, just purely because they want to ride a wave. That's it. They just purely want to ride a wave. Any successful coin will have forks, and people will buy it looking for a quick buck. That is right, Gamer Dude. I completely agree with you. Paul G says there is an Ether Homes that was incorporated on the 24th of January. Is that you? On the 24th of January 2018? No, that wasn't. And I believe the spelling of it was different to the one that I've just registered the other day. Hex is different. Trustless interest. Yeah, I think Hex does exactly what it says on the tin, and it's never shied away from that. Now, people don't like, hang on a minute, where's the Ethereum going, and what about Richard Hart as a person? I'm going to come under that same scrutiny. People might say, I don't trust to invest in this guy. But at least you could say, well, we can see where the Ethereum's going. It's all in a smart contract. It's all viewable and verifiable on the Etherscan page. I welcome anyone to go and research any transactions that have happened within that smart contract, because I've got absolutely nothing to hide or be ashamed of. So you're more than welcome to criticise that. I'd love to hear your thoughts on why you want to criticise it. What would your argument be for buying Ether Homes over property stocks instead of REITs? Yes, you can own REITs, but do you actually own any of the property assets? And yes, you can take part in REITs where you own, typically I think a lot of those are, you own a proportion of building companies. So like Red Homes or Taylor Wimpey or whoever it may be in your local area, they own a percentage of their companies and also any sort of overlying assets that they might have. And yeah, I've tried to bring a decentralized, fair and transparent version of what you've just said, stock market REITs. So I hope that obviously that has an inherent value itself. A random gamer dude said, I'm going to go now because I have some family stuff. It was nice talking to you. Good luck with your coin. Cheers, mate. Thanks for that. I hope you guys are all smashing that like button for me. If you're new to this channel, click the subscribe button so you can get updated with anything that's happening with ethereum.com. Tick the little bell notification so you'll be notified when I go live. I hope I've answered all your questions in a manner where you've understood it and taken it in. If you're still not sure, send me a message on Telegram. I can chat to people over the phone. You can also contact me Twitter, either at etherhomes or bitglen, or you can join the Telegram group chats, which are Team Bitglen or etherhomes. So plenty of ways of contacting me, or you can go to the website www.ether-homes.com and you can view the EtherScan page. You can put in your email address, or you can even just do a quick chat, live chat with me any time of day. Obviously, I'll reply back when I'm awake, not when I'm asleep. So yeah, plenty of ways. There's photos in here. There's frequently asked questions. There's the main business idea, the white paper. So hopefully there's a load of information there that you guys can take in before making any decision. How is Ether Homes decentralized when there is a single point of failure, which is yourself? Well, that is true. The shareholders do have a right to either sack or change the CEO. So if I was to die, you guys can actually say, right, okay, we want this guy to take part of the take control of the portfolio and the purchasing decisions going forward. That's entirely down to you. But just because if I die, it means that's it, the business doesn't exist, because someone else can take over this. Who knows, maybe if someone approaches me later when it's a successful business with several assets, they might say, we'll buy your shares off you for X, Y and Z. I don't know. I don't plan to do that. I plan to hold these properties long term wise. But yeah, just because if I die doesn't mean, oh, Glenn's dead, that means the project's over and I've lost all my money that I put into it. I don't think that's the case. I think it can still carry on. It's just down to the shareholders to pick someone that they believe in, I suppose. It's fair enough, isn't it? Just like a business would. And it's decentralised in the fact that once it's on Uniswap, anyone can buy the token. Anyone, now you're not supposed to buy it if you're from America due to security laws, but it's no one's governing Uniswap at the moment, so you can buy any token from any country any time of day through Uniswap, and it is decentralized. And apart from obviously the Ethereum addresses that I can view, I don't know who owns those tokens. It could be loads of Americans that are buying the tokens. It could be loads of English people. I don't know. It's completely decentralized. Is 25 million shares don't get bought in pre-sale, then how can anyone ever do that? You would always be the majority shareholder. Is 25 million shares don't get bought? I don't know what you mean by that, Gary, but I'm going to take a guess. If there are 100,000 tokens created in this pre-sale, I will then create 25% more shares that I will own singularly myself. The rest of the coins that are up for shareholders are 100% up for grabs. So I'll leave that down to you guys. But yes, I will own a 25% share in the company, which I believe is completely fair enough. You know, I've not pre-mined the coins. I've not got a majority share of the coins. I'm not putting a small amount of the supply up for sale to raise money and then I'm going to dump it on everyone, which happens a lot. You'd be surprised how many times that happens in the world of coins. But yeah, I've tried to make it so that I own as minimal as possible so that it's completely fair for everyone. And I don't think 25% is, for someone who's created the business from scratch, thought of the idea, created the token, marketed in it, dedicated a lot of time to it. Is 25% too much, do you think, for me to own? I think that's fair enough, but you may have different views, I don't know. So you're creating 25% Ether tokens on top of whatever is sold. Yeah, so when you create a company in the UK, it asks you how many shares you predict want to be created, which therefore you submit to the government. But then there is a confirmation that you have to go through. So a couple of months after the company is created, it will say, right, okay, we just want to confirm the business is registered at this address and it's generated this many shares, and you're the director, and da 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 da. At that point, things can be changed. So I would be looking to change it as soon as the crowd sale is finished. If 100,000 tokens get sold and I need 25% of that, you would think, oh, I need 25,000 shares created on top. But actually, it works out to be something like 32,000 because it's 25% of all the shares combined. So I would have to create that and set it for myself. To set the company up on Company House, I've already generated 10 million shares because there are 10 million tokens being generated, plus obviously my 25%. So I've already created that, but I can adjust the numbers once the crowd sale completes, which obviously I don't know when that... well, it could be at any point if we hit 4,000 Ethereum, or once the 30 days are up. So we'll see what happens with that. I hope I've answered all your questions. Unless you've got any more for me, Gary or Paul or Random Gamer Dude. I can't think of anything else I need to cover today. So I'll probably leave it there. I've been talking for just over an hour. So 25% of the shares aren't backed by any value. Any shares sold are instantly diluted in value. Can you put a link to the registration of the company? I can't find it. That is because I've registered the company, but it takes the government. It doesn't happen instantly. So I registered it a few days ago and I'm waiting for the government. They send you a letter in the post, and then you have to go on to Company's House and confirm that you've received the letter with this code. So it's not as easy as just going online, create a company, oh look, there you go guys, it's all there. But as soon as it is available, I will share it at 100%. And again, I've always said that I'll share 100% of information that I can with you guys, as long as it doesn't influence or impact the business. So if I felt that you guys are asking me a question that would affect the security of the overall project, then I would just blank it and say, no, I don't want to share that and I don't want to show anyone that. So, yeah, everything's, you know, I'll try my 100% best to share and disclose every piece of information that I possibly can with you guys. The 25% shares, really I'm tied to it, because if I sell any of those shares, I then am not a 25% shareholder, which means I'm not a person of significant control. So as long as this business is going, then I will have to keep 25% of the shares. So when you're saying about selling the shares, this company isn't going to be publicly traded anytime soon. So those shares are the 25% for me. I can't do anything with it. They're just set there so that I meet a criteria so I can go and get mortgages on these properties. Yeah, that's it. So I think I've answered every question. I'm going to leave it there because I'm really, really tired. It's 11:45. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Please smash the like button if you're watching this video back later. And I'll do another live video tomorrow from the Crypto Shed. I might do it at a different time. I've been doing these quite late at night recently, so I might try doing one maybe early morning, midday, so that I capture maybe a slightly different audience, maybe from a different country. So yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. If you've got any questions and you think of it, send them to me on either Ether Homes, the Telegram group, or the Twitter page, or through Facebook. If you want to contact me personally, you can do it through @BitGlenn on Twitter, or you can do it on Team BitGlenn on Telegram, or you can just comment in the comment section down below. Smash that like button, click subscribe if you're new, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers guys, bye.